Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 98 of All the Gear But No Idea. Rhodey, good to be here with you.
Dizzy, it's always a pleasure to talk fishing, particularly just after the Christmas, New Year's period. Everyone's had some time off. We've both been on the water with varying levels of success.
Yes, we have.
So plenty to talk about.
There is, Rhodey, there is. There's a lot to unpack in this episode and we do have a fantastic guest. He has been on the show before. It's Ryan from Reef Encounters in the lovely bottom end of the Yorke Peninsula, based out of Marion Bay, Pondalowie Bay, that area. He does a fantastic job down there on an epic charter business he has, and we are very much looking forward to having a chat with him later today, Rhodey.
Diz, we are, and he's a great guest, and he's very generous with his time as you pop open a frothy, which is hard-earned at this time of year, isn't it?
Oh, it is, Rhodey. It's hard-earned. Feels like it's been a good little while. Just had the public holidays off work, so I sort of feel like I've been trudging through a little bit, but having the public holidays and linking him in with a weekend has been very nice to have a few days off.
It actually worked out quite well this year, didn't it, with a couple of long weekends?
It did, and that'll lead me into my orange, which is, of course, our segment that we start with the oranges and lemons. Rhodey, I'll just run us off with having a nice few days over with the family at Black Point.
Yes, very good, Diz. You'll keep us updated in the fishing report of your success?
Yeah, I will. It's not going to be a long part of the fishing report.
So it was more of a family time than a fishing time?
It was more family time than fishing time. The weather wasn't ideal, as most people know. Over New Year's was a bit blowy. Monday was not too bad, but New Year's Day was quite nice, but you would have needed to be in some nice sheltered bays to enjoy the water. But anyway, that was my orange. Rhodey, what was yours?
Diz, we went camping for New Year's. Took
Lil's first trip.
Just under 2, so we took her out in the tent and went down to Southern Yorke Peninsula, sort of between Gleeson's and Daly Head, on a bit of private property which we have access to, which is very nice.
Yeah.
We survived camping with a 2-year-old.
Yeah, what was it like? What was the highlight?
I suppose
just time with the fam.
Yeah, you know how it is, mate. Cook some nice little meals, little bacon egg wraps.
Lovely.
Gyros on the barbie, a few beers with a nice view. Got the drone out.
Yeah, how good.
Did do a bit of diving, but we'll put that in the fishing report later on.
Very good. All right, then we'll roll into my lemon there, mate. It's the cost of cockles. Goodness me.
Dizzy, we posted this on social media. I think that was just before Christmas.
Yeah, $18 for a tiny bag.
$56 for 3 small bags of cockles in Port Wakefield on the way over the Yorke Peninsula.
Unbelievable.
And we did get plenty of attention for go down to Goolwa and get your cockles, buy in bulk at the tackle store. We do realise that. But
just fish with squid instead.
We only realised we didn't have any bait at about 9 p.m. the night before we left.
Yeah.
And we did have some squid, but we always like to have multiple options. Diz?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go out there prepared and you want to have a few different options because you never really know what they're going to be biting on. Of course, you might start with your favourites of squid and cockle and see what's going, but sometimes they'll be chewing on bloodworms, other times they'll be chewing on different sorts of things. So it is important to have a few different bases covered and they've really got some hefty margins at Port Wakefield on the cockles.
They certainly do, Diz, and that's going to lead into my lemon for the week, Diz. It's a common problem, I'm sure. The little orange flag on your outboard motor. It's an easy thing to lose. It also gets damaged, stretched, broken over time.
Yep.
So we knew we needed one. So what did we do? We ducked into the servo to get one. Could we get one? No. Ducked into another servo. Could we get one? No. Meanwhile, we're driving around with a bit of dodgy orange strap tied around the prop. It wasn't really doing the job that well.
No. Not recommended either.
So I reckon we went into 3 or 4 servos over a couple of trips out. Then Diz, I don't know if I told you this, I went into Super Cheap Auto. Surely they stock one. Nah, didn't have one.
BCF would they?
Didn't go to BCF. So where did I go to? I was heading down to the Flurio. So I was going along South Road. Thought first spot I could see one was Stratco. Went in there. They had one, $2.50. Happy to have it. What happened?
Stracco.
So I got it out. I put it on. As I stretched the elastic over the prop, it broke.
I can't believe that Stracco had them.
Well, I thought they would. I was confident Stratco, but anyway, it broke. So I'd been to 3 servos, super cheap order, and Stratco, and all I had was a broken flag. So that ended up zip tied onto the prop. So if anyone out there has a better solution apart from BCF, which Dizzy's, you could have gone there last week and helped us out. But anyway,
Yeah, like just maybe a marine and camping store or something.
I didn't actually think orange flags needed a specialist shop.
No, neither did I. It's a good point. I'm happy with that as a lemon. Righto, Rody, let's move on. This is, of course, our first show for the new year, so we thought it would be very fitting of us to talk about a couple of New Year's resolutions for the podcast. I'm not big on New Year's resolutions myself, but I am happy to partake in this one, Rody, as a bit of a podcast edition. So maybe you can kick us off with your New Year's resolution for the potty.
Dizzy, as everyone does, gets into the gym on January 1. I've started my New Year's resolution. I haven't told you about this. I've started the burley production.
Gee whiz.
So what did I do? I've snaplock bagged up all our prawn heads, crayfish shells over Christmas.
Yeah.
I've bought some little lengths of PVC pipe. I've bought a big length and cut it up.
Yeah.
Fits perfectly into your Savage Tackle burley pot.
Lovely.
And I've created, I was out the shed last night, had a bit of time on my hands. I've created a pusher. So I'm going to freeze the prawn heads and whatever else. Might put some pilchards in there maybe as well in the pipe. And I've created a pusher that's the right diameter to push straight out of the pipe. And then I'm going to wrap them in a bit of baking paper, bit of masking tape, chuck them in the freezer. Next time we go whiting fishing, I'll have burley ready to go.
You've got way too much time on your hands.
I was out there with the what's the hole the drill piece with the that cuts the hole.
The speed borer.
Is that it? Yeah, the speed borer. I was out there last night, nearly cut my finger off because it was bloody pitch black, and I was trying to hold a bloody phone torch.
Geez, for anybody out there, just don't listen to any advice. This is classic case of all the gear, but no idea here.
Anyway,
I didn't realise we were getting into hardware edition.
I've got it just about all ready to go, and I'll take some pictures next time I'm out there tinkering in the shed and let you all have a look. So, Diz, that's my New Year's resolution.
Very
Get down
good.
to Goolwa, collect some bait, and make our own burley.
Yeah, very good. Love it, mate. Excellent. Well, my New Year's resolution is to crack the code on the Metro whiting.
Yeah, I don't mind it, Diz, because we've been inconsistent at best. We had one good day last winter.
Yeah, we had. We truthfully, we haven't fished Metro a lot. We did have a bit of joy out there for a couple of days, like you said. But I really would like to crack the code on them. I'd really love in the depths of winter to be able to get out there on a little strike mission and get a nice feed of Metro King George. So I'm going to put that on the New Year's resolution list. Next winter, we're going to give them a good crack and try and unlock the key.
And let's try and get the Metro like Brighton, not North Haven.
Yeah. No, good call.
And we're going to do a goal for 2024, Diz. What do you got for us?
Well, my goal is something that I am absolutely chomping at the bit for is, of course, the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp. Toomey has just posted, we're going out there with Going Grey and James Manor. We're on the crew. We cannot wait.
The cat's out of the bag. Now, what's your goal? Is it to win?
Oh, my goal's to win it. We are wanting to take it home. We caught up with James for dinner. He's a very experienced skipper. He seems very onto the comp. He wants to win it. He's got that look in his eye, I reckon. And I'm going to match him with I'm going to bring that energy on the boat.
Oh, Diz, well, that is a very good goal. And we'll see if we as a team can follow through on that, Diz.
Can't wait, mate. What's your goal?
Diz, we did all right on the Kingfish last summer, Cape Jarvis and the Sounds, but I'd like to catch a big one.
Yeah, get a meatery.
I'd like to get the meter Kingfish, whether that be maybe somewhere around that Port Lincoln trip, maybe Port Augusta, or maybe a bigger one down the Flurio.
Yeah.
But I think we've got the 70s and the 80s. I think we need to crack the meter mark.
Yeah, it'd be good to get one over a meter. I'd be very keen to do that with you, mate. Absolutely. I'd like to get that one before you, so that'd be one that I could hold over you.
Oh, geez, that'd be a first, wouldn't it?
Very good. Rody, we've got a bit to get through before the news. We've got the 100th episode coming up. People will know that because we are deep into the nervous 90s.
98. We're not far away, Diz, and we have posted this a couple of times on the social media, but we have got a big celebration coming up at the Colonel Light Gardens RSL, January 21st. I think it's a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be great. There'll be a sausage sizzle that we're putting on there. The Colonel Light RSL bar is going to be open for you to purchase your own drinks.
Bring your kids. They can run around with our little raccoons.
Bring your kids. Bring them along. It's going to be a family-friendly event, of course. We're going to be doing a lot of little bits and pieces. There'll be everyone from previous guests, a few family and friends. We'll have the podcast gear there to do a few snippets of recordings. We can't wait for it, Rody. But a great afternoon.
If you've always wanted to appear on All the Gear but no idea, I'd be rocking up and hanging around the recording studio. And you never know, you might just get a word in.
Never know, you're like in the big city.
But we do want everyone to jump on and RSVP on the Eventbrite link, just so we know for numbers, that's all.
Yeah, we don't want to run out of snags.
Doesn't cost you a cent, though.
We do not want to run out of snags.
Because I'll be sending Dizzy straight out of the butcher. So go on, big guy.
Yeah, jump on the Eventbrite link. Like you say, Rody, 21st of January, 3 p.m.
Yeah, beautiful. Diz, now got a merch update.
Yeah, T-shirts. I'm hearing that they've landed.
They have landed. I've got my private...
The Eagle has landed.
My private courier, a.k.a. my father, on pickup tomorrow.
Good on you, Pete. Good on you,
Heading out to Mawson Lakes to pick up the goods.
About time Pete did something for the podcast.
Well, he's claiming that he's the number one whiting fisherman in town after the bag out pre-Christmas, Diz.
He's kidding himself, mate. I outfished him 3-1.
So anyway, with the T-shirts are here. We've had plenty of pre-orders. There are a couple still available in this first shipment. But if you want one, get in contact ASAP. $40 for adults, $30 for youth, or $25 for kids.
How good, Rody. We love that. And keep sending your photos through. There is, of course, going to be our monthly photo cop, which will continue to run. So send them in. Send us all your photos of everything you've been doing over the Christmas, New Year period. I think we might even think about doing a bit of a tuna photo comp.
Oh, are we, Diz?
Well, we could.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good idea.
Not. Won't be too long.
I'm glad you bounce ideas off me before you go live.
Yeah, it was a bit of a live brainstorm that just came to me there. So,
all right, Rody, before you say anything else stupid, should we keep moving?
Yes, I think we should. Let's move on to the news.
Rody and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and we'll give you the rundown on what you need to know.
We're going to start this new segment, Rody, on a not-so-nice note. We don't like covering these stories. Of course, we cover these stories to keep the public aware of people doing the wrong thing. We also like to point out that the fisheries officers are doing a great job catching those offenders. And we do start, of course, with the nasty illegal abalone catch that was reported off the Yorke Peninsula.
Diz, we do, and this one was reported through the ABC News. 8 alleged poachers have been caught with 150 abalone and crabs on Yorke Peninsula. The Yorktown Fisheries Office. Not ideal. They intercepted 3 men and 2 women at a beach and found 84 abalone allegedly in their possession. They then went to an address and found 2 more men and a woman with 65 abalone and 31 crabs, a majority of which were under the legal size limit. Diz, there's no I caught one whiting that was just undersized and I didn't measure it properly and I made a little error. That was a deliberate breach of the rules, Diz.
Yeah, it was, Rody, and we, like we said earlier, we hate covering these stories. We don't like seeing them. But it is a bit of a reminder that there are people out there doing the wrong thing, and if we stay vigilant, we can help the officers. We can report them, of course, through Fish Watch.
Yep, anonymously you can dob someone in.
You can. And we certainly encourage people who have been identified to be doing blatantly the wrong thing like this is to be reported to the authorities. Rody, what else have we got?
Diz, there's been a bit of back and forth, I would call it, over recent years between some of particularly the pro squid fishermen maybe not giving themselves a great reputation.
Yeah, I think, that could be fair to say.
You know, maybe feeling like they have more rights to certain patches of ocean than others.
Possibly.
And RecFish have come up with a proposal, I suppose you would call it, to say that no commercial fishing operators should be allowed within 300 metres of the metro shore due to antisocial and violent behaviour, Diz.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, RecFish are tasked with a number of different things through the government to address different issues that rec fishing people are faced with, and I think it's fair to say, if you read through the comments, that there's been a enormous amount of people who have been sort of fronted by... Intimidated, I think. And I'm certainly not going to be sitting here going that the rec people are always in the right, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who do get in the way. They might intentionally or unintentionally do the wrong thing, but I think there is no place for abuse and mistreatment of people, and it's sad to see that that's happening.
And this is swimmers, kayakers, surfers, whatever else, just as much as rec fishing, I suppose. But it's just they're sort of saying, RecFish is saying that it's not a great look and it's not a great image for tourism, rec fishing or whatever else. So that's their proposal, that they think that should be the rule, Diz.
Yep, it's interesting. A bit more to come on that. It's initial. It sparked an enormous amount of commentary on social media. There will be more to come, like we say. And I think we should probably just leave that one there for the meantime, Rody, till we know more. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, let's leave it at that, Diz. Now let's move on to the West Beach boat ramp. It is still open?
Yes, of course it is still open. It is not closed to the public, and RecFish SA have worked very closely with stakeholders to negotiate free and meaningful access through the West Beach, or to the West Beach boat ramp, through this sailing event. So they have posted the link. You get onto it via the westbeachparks.com.au website, and you are able to get your free launch pass to be able to access the water from the West Beach boat ramp. The passes are limited.
Yes, and
so you do need to get onto it.
And so that's at the moment, and again later in January around Australia Day, I think.
Yeah, when they have that other part of their weird sailing regatta where they have to take over the whole ramp.
So yeah, we've been through that, Diz. It's a bit of a disaster, really,
joke.
but at least we've got some sort of solution. So a reminder that you can still use the West Beach boat ramp. You probably just have to be a bit more organised and jump on and get your ticket.
Yep, we do. So great work by RecFish to be able to gain access for RecFish during that time. Jump on there, book your ticket, make sure you get onto it if you're planning on going out. Of course, there are other ramps. O'Sully's is now open, so people might choose to use that.
They might choose to go further. O'Sully's?
Yeah, it has, I think. Yeah, I've seen heaps of boats down near work. Yeah. Far more than we have from times gone by, obviously, because you haven't been able to get onto the ramp. But nice to see some boats in the area. They're obviously getting down there and making use of it. Rhodey, a sad story here. Shark death at Ethel's Beach. Very, very sad news.
Was it
very popular beach down there.
Third in 8 or 9 months, I think, in South Australia.
Yeah, actually, might even be more. I think there's been 4.
Yeah, I thought there was 3.
There's been 4 shark attacks.
Maybe
I think
3
there's 3
deaths, 4 attacks.
Yeah. So very sad to hear. Our condolences to the family and loved ones of the person passed away. Very sad, no doubt, shaking a huge community. And look, I guess on the back of that, there has been some shark safety initiatives, discussions, proposals.
I was just watching Asha Desiree from RecFish on Channel 7 News tonight, Diz.
Yes, okay.
They're proposing that great whites, which they do in other states, should be tagged with those acoustic tags, and then receiver beacons put out at popular surfing, fishing, diving locations around South Australia. And when a shark swims within X number of metres of one of these
sounds an alarm
receivers, it puts off an alarm and flashes a light and tells everyone to get out of the water.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's great that they're trying to do something. I know they do it in the eastern states, and I think in WA.
I think they do it in WA. WA do a few other things, like they subsidise those shark shields and other things, and like the tear-proof wetsuits, I think, up to like $200 per person.
Suppose my question with this is, how many sharks do you have to tag before you've got a majority of the population, and how quickly do they just piss off and get replaced by other great whites?
Yeah, don't know. I mean, I suppose it's clearly part of a big initiative on tagging them. It's not going to be just go out there and tag as many as you can and forget about it. It'd be ongoing work.
It's such a vast coastline in South Australia. Where, how many of the receivers can you put out? Would there have even been a receiver at Ethel's Beach? Is that popular enough to warrant having a receiver? Yes, you'd have one at Glenelg and Brighton and whatever else, but how far does the budget stretch?
Yeah, it's a good question, and these are important
I don't have
questions.
To that, but
important questions that need answering, Rhodey, and I'm sure some wiser heads are working through these things. But I think
to see some thought going into it anyway.
I think it's fair to say that something needs to be done. It does become a public safety issue. It does attract a lot of attention. It's probably not something, you don't see hundreds of deaths, but it does seem to have been that this summer seems to be particularly bad.
It does, Diz.
So far.
What else we got?
Well, Rhodey, there is some RecFish news about licence fees.
Yep. What have they got for us, Diz? This is another proposal, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So I think they are basically proposing that there are no boat launch ramp fees in South Australia. So essentially they've done a little bit of a bit of research, I suppose.
It's a case study, would you call it?
A case study, that might be a good way to describe it. And essentially to do an undertaking of what money is collected through ramp fees and also what money is then spent on those ramp fees. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and they're sort of saying that, for example, the O'Sullivan's Beach boat ramp here is their example, has an $80,000 profit collected directly off the boat ramp users that have funded the infrastructure.
Yeah. So essentially I think this goes to the point that the council shouldn't be profiteering off the rec fishers using the ramp.
No, and it seems like the ramp, the cost of using the ramp far outweighs the expenses to run the ramp.
Yeah, that's right. And so it's essentially that there should be no more fees. They see it as essentially a gouging of the public funds, and that there should not be double dipping, for want of a better term, lack of support and no investment into the sector, which we now know is worth over $1 billion.
Yeah, and I know other states have got a lot more free boat ramps, Diz, so I suppose this is again following on from some of the good work that the other states have done, but it seems again that SA is probably lagging a bit behind.
Yeah. So good work there by RecFish to do a bit of a case study on that particular issue. We look forward to seeing whether there's some traction made there, and hopefully there is.
All right, Diz, that's a pretty good news segment, I thought.
Not too bad at all, mate. Let's move on to the tackle item of the week.
Now it's time for Rhodey and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea, as they review a tackle item of the week.
Diz, this is a topical one, isn't it? Where we're getting ready to go tuna fishing, potentially on the weekend. We're also starting some of the early preparation for the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp, as we talked about before. And what have we been shopping for, Diz?
Well, look, Rhodey, when you start getting your gear ready, of course, you look to your lures, and you might get your rod out that you haven't used for a little while because you might have just been chasing whiting or squid or these sorts of things. And then, of course, you start to look at some of that more terminal tackle. Make sure you've got those sorts of things dialed in. And one of the things that we do like to turn towards is wind-on leaders.
Diz, and I'm looking here at the Shimano Premium Wind-On Leader that we've just got a couple here in our hands, and that's particularly looking forward to the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp, Diz.
Yep.
Obviously, in that competition sense, it plays a big part in particular.
Yeah, it does. So a lot of competitions will have particular rules about things.
Touching the leader
becomes a catch. These sorts of things. There quite often isn't a pound limit on leaders.
Yep. So
there will be on line class.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one.
And it just makes it easier to sort of handle that last part of the fight.
It does, because you don't want to have a long portion of your leader attached to, say, a swivel, where you then need to manage the fish for, a couple of meters potentially.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can just wind that direct onto line, sometimes you'll have better control of the fish, which makes it easier to land. Of course, if you are practicing catch and release, you want to be able to treat that fish with the care and respect that it deserves. Get it on board. You might take a quick photo with some wet hands, not being careful not to touch the gills, those sorts of things, and then gently place it back in the water. Some of those sorts of things are difficult if you've got the fish flailing around because you haven't been able to wind it close to the boat.
Yeah, and Diz, so this Shimano leader comes in 80 pound to 400 pound Strength, sizes, and they're all 20 feet in length, but it does have a note here as a reminder that if you are using light tackle, so 10 kilo and under IGFA rules, the leader must be a maximum of 15 feet long. So you have to cut those ones down a bit.
Fair enough. There you go. Nice little rule update.
So that's where we're at with our tuna prep, Diz.
Very good. And look, I think for anybody out there who hasn't used a wind-on leader before, it's quite self-explanatory. It is a leader, of course, which you wind on.
Yeah, you've really made a breakthrough there, Diz.
So get yourself down to your local tackle store, grab yourself a wind-on leader if you've been struggling with what we've been talking about there, Rody.
All right, Diz, that's a good one.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad, not the best?
About time you carried your weight in the tackle item.
Yeah, love that. All right, Rody, let's get the guest on the line.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
All right, Diz, we are very lucky to be joined here tonight by Ryan from Reef Encounters, a great charter business on the Yorke Peninsula. He did join us in episode 41, so welcome to the show for the second time, Ryan.
G'day, guys. Thanks for having us again. Thank you.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you very much, mate. And it's great to have you on the show for a second time. Of course, you fished the lovely waters down there in the bottom end of the Yorke Peninsula out from Pondalowie Bay, and a spectacular part of the world. We're not going to go over those 5 questions that we asked you last time, but maybe if you wouldn't mind just sort of going over some of your memorable catches or trips over, say, the last month or so.
Okay, yeah. So as you guys know, we start our season at the beginning of October. We've been flat out on the water since then. One of probably the better catches at the beginning of the season was we had a bit of a run of the barrel tuna there for a while, which is no secret now. Really good fish hit the deck, nudging 140 kilos. So had a small crew on board that day, and I tell you what, we needed every bit of the help we could get to get it up over the side.
Was that a charter, or was that you out with your mates, or what was the story there?
It was just a really small group charter. There were a couple of friends on board as well, so we knew they were biking around, and I thought we'll use this opportunity to go out and see if they're still around, and thankfully they were. And yeah, it was a really great capture to be able to get that on board.
And was that when they sort of had that second run, like they had a first patch and then a second run?
Yeah, it was actually even after that.
Was it?
Quite a big break, and I think a lot of people thought they'd moved on, and I saw a few signs out there still and just sort of persisted in the areas, and then I literally saw one jump out of the water and then thought, rightio, we're on here. And not being set up for it either, I didn't have any of the big gear on board. I had the right lures. And I just said to my mate Wally, go down there, pick the rod with the most line on it, put the skirt out, and I think I trolled for all of maybe 50 metres before I actually watched the fish roll over the top of the lure and thought, right, okay.
And what rod and reel were you using?
Believe it or not, it was a Finor 750 offshore. For those of you who don't know, it's just a large spin reel.
Yeah, and how long was the flight?
They were lucky to have 200 metres of braid on it.
Wow.
How long did it last for?
Yeah, the fight went for 3.5 hours into the night.
Wow.
Yeah, so epic battle, and I'll be honest, it was a miracle to land a fish of that size on gear like that. A lot of hard work. We shared the rod between about 3 or 4 people in the end, and then chasing it down with the boat. But yeah, won the battle in the end.
That's amazing, and I know you can't read the future, but do you reckon that is something that we'll see more of as time goes on, the big barrels around the Yorke Peninsula?
I'm hoping, yeah.
Yeah.
It isn't the first time this has happened. Maybe in these numbers, especially the catch rate, we haven't really seen before, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see this again.
Yeah, that's pretty epic news, and geez, that's fantastic for you, Ryan, and I'm sure another great way to promote your business, having got a 140 kilo on the deck and all of that. That would have been pretty epic, but I suppose pretty hard too, because it was a very well kept secret there for a little while, wasn't it?
It was for a little bit, yeah. Well, I was actually overseas when I found out, so it was really hard to pill to swallow, not being able to be there and get right into it when they first rolled up.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, well, all right. Well, then, I mean, we were going to ask you how your season's going, but I suppose if you start off like that, it's pretty hard to top it after that, isn't it?
Oh, look, we enjoy all the other fishing as well, so the season's been going great. All of our normal bottom species have been fishing really well. Some massive sharks over the last, in November especially, some really big sharks, gummies up to 30 kilo and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Blue Morwong, nannies, the snapper have been a bit of a pest. They're just in out of control numbers out here at the moment. So they're a little bit hard to keep away from. But, as I said, we managed to get our other species and some really nice Samson fish as well. Not in the last few weeks, but through November there, we got quite a few really large Samson fish, which was good as well.
Yeah. Well, that's something neither of us have caught, and we'd love to get a Samson fish. So you might have to tell us when to come down and get onto one of them. But the other thing I wanted to ask you, I know when we've been whiting fishing around the Yorke Peninsula, we've been catching more and more snapper, and that's something that a lot of others are saying. You've been finding that too. There seems to be good numbers bouncing back.
Absolutely. I'd even go as far as saying I'm not sure if bouncing back's the right term to use it. The snapper here have been a real stronghold for a long time. I think it's not a fishery that can really be compared to the Gulf waters. But yeah, our grounds out here have been fishing really well for snapper. Not that we're targeting them, but it's very hard to avoid.
Yeah, and I guess that must be a bit tricky for you in that sense because I'm sure when you get onto a patch of them, you probably just pick the pick or go to another spot and try and get onto some other fish, which would present a bit of an issue for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, but my rule pretty much is that once a couple come up, that's well, before you know it, the way snappers school up, 6 or 7 people hooked on straight away, and it's like, okay, guys, we need to move on.
That'd be pretty tricky. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not too long and you'll be able to target them, but I'm sure, particularly those who are following your socials and these sorts of things will be seeing how well you're doing on the other species. So that's really good to hear. Yeah,
we're lucky to have the species diversity. So we definitely make do with what we've got.
All right. Now, what we did want to talk to you about as well, Ryan, we have had Paul Worsterling and Shane Mensforth on, who both came out and had an epic day on the water with you early on in the year. Can you tell us about taking those guys out and filming and all that sort of stuff? What's the pressure like being the skipper taking IFish out?
Yeah. Well, I won't touch on the days too much just because you guys covered it off fairly well with them. But, pressure-wise, I guess that, there's definitely a bit of pressure there to perform and try and get the fish on board for these guys because for them sort of time is money and they want to get the shot. So there definitely was a bit down. I'm not going to lie, the weight sort of came off a bit once we sort of landed a few tuna and I knew we had a bit of a piece already. But then it just kept falling into line, really. Everything fished really well. We got some really nice Samsons, which was the target for that day. Then we got some really nice sized whiting and the sharks. There wasn't too much that didn't hit the deck, actually. So I'm very thankful for that.
And the episodes out of that are obviously out and we've seen them. They're great footage. You must be really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. Would have been nice if the weather played a little bit nicer with us. But, hey, we managed to get out. We made do with the conditions. So, yeah, they were a great crew, great film crew, and really fun guys to hang out with. Paul's an absolute legend, just such a nice guy. And same with Shane, has always been good. So, yeah, an absolute pleasure to fish alongside both of them, which I was lucky enough to fish with them too, which was an amazing thing.
Yeah, I bet that would have been an absolute epic trip. My question to you is it must have been that good at fishing they've asked you to go out again next year, or what's the go?
No, not quite yet, but yeah, I'm not doubtful that it would happen again one day.
And one more question on that, Ryan. Do you get I think IFish comes out on the Sunday, doesn't it? Do you get an influx of phone calls on the Monday and Tuesday after the episode airs?
Oh, when it aired for the first couple of times, definitely there was a bit of interest there. Especially, it's good for the interstate stuff. That there's a lot of people out there that might not necessarily think of little old Marion Bay right down the end there. So it definitely helps. Yeah, but. We're quite happy with it.
Excellent, mate. That's great. Now, you said earlier your season starts in October, so you've had a bit of time to yourself, or not as much fishing, I suppose, over winter. Tell us about the time off. What'd you get up to?
Well, the previous times off have been very jam-packed with not much relaxing, but it's all been maintenance. And as you guys know, we've only recently taken over the business, so this is our third season now. So there was a lot of work to do there initially, and this was our time to get away this winter. So my wife and I went overseas for quite some time, so that was good to relax before getting back into it.
Did you fit any fishing in amongst the relaxation?
Oh, did I fish over there? I don't think I fished over there, no.
Probably with as much fishing you do over summer, you try and get away from it a bit.
I didn't, but I did have a trip planned for when I did manage to sneak away for a week in November for a fishing-only trip. So that was my consolation for not doing any in the winter.
Where was that one to?
So a friend of mine from Cairns, I headed up to Vanuatu and chased the Dogtooth Tuna and all those sorts of other species up there, which was unbelievable. Trip of a lifetime, guys. If you can ever get a chance to chase Dogtooth, that is the one fish that will really show you who's boss.
What size Dogtooth did you get, and how does it compare to our tuna?
Oh, look, I'd love to be able to brag. I'd love to be able to brag, but the one I ended up landing after multiple bust-offs was only about 11.5 kilos. They're insane. They're absolutely insane fish. I hooked one off the top. The skipper estimates around the 40-kilo mark on a popper, and I've never seen an surface explosion like that. It was amazing and so nice to just have full heart and mouth stuff. As a fisherman, again, it was really awesome.
And what would how would you compare it to our southern bluefin tuna? Like an 11-kilo dogtooth, how does that compare to a 25-kilo bluefin tuna? Or
you can't compare them. A dogtooth would just pull 3 tuna backwards. Oh, wow. And I've heard about these fish, since I was a kid, and I underestimated them. When I rocked up, I thought, yeah, righto, here we go. I've got my gear, I've got this sorted, and you just don't. They're so difficult to land, and more so when you're jigging, and that was the goal. We were all jigging. It was all about landing them on lure. You can just put a big 50 wide down with a whole bait, but even then, guys, like I cannot believe how hard a 15-kilo to 20-kilo dogtooth can pull a 50 wide Penn International. It is just insane.
Yeah, wow, that's a real bucket list for all us fishers, and we'll just live vicariously through your exploits.
That's got my mouth watering. That one far out.
Yeah. I can recommend though.
Beautiful. We'll add that to the ever-growing list. Now, you did talk about our tuna back home, the southern bluefin, and I know everyone's been keeping an eye on the socials, waiting for them to rock up. What can you tell us? Have you seen them over on Yorke Peninsula yet?
I've seen some sunning schools that have been on the move. We haven't managed to get any on board yet. You'll hear from us pretty short after we do. But we're more just jealous of you guys over there, because I know they're down that way.
Yeah.
So
I think there's going to be a few more catches of tuna over there before we see really good numbers here. So
yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about going out this weekend and whether we launch at Warina or Victor or where our best bet is. But it is funny over the last few years. Sometimes they turn up one side of the Fleurieu or the other, or Marion Bay or Port Lincoln. They seem to be really sort of inconsistent in where and how they come at the moment, aren't they?
And I mean, my theory is that it's to do with how the water currents move with the temperature of the water, and obviously the bait's a massive factor. The food's got to be there.
Yeah,
I think every year isn't necessarily the same. So.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of a watch and see, and we'll look forward to them arriving in good numbers in all those locations, and everyone will be frothing when they do. So, Ryan, you've been very generous with your time. And before we let you go, mate, what's new? What's coming on the agenda? You're absolutely jam-packed for the rest of the season, no doubt, with charters and just waiting for the tuna. Is that how it is?
We are jam-packed. I do have a new sort of product that we're working on at the moment, which will be good, some multi-day trip packages, and there's some cool stuff there that we'll share with you guys maybe on our next interview.
Awesome, mate. We can't wait. We'll keep close to that one. That sounds epic.
You can sign us up for one of them then.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Sounds good. I'm keen to have you over here.
Brilliant, Ryan. Well, thank you very much. Reef Encounters down in the lovely bottom end of the Yorke Peninsula. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Very generous with your time and good fishing, mate. I hope you have a great start to 2024 and beyond.
Appreciate it, guys. Good work with the show. Tie lines.
Dizzy, that was great to chat with Ryan again after, so what was that, 41 to 98, so 47 episodes ago.
Yeah, it feels like that's quite a while ago, actually. So
didn't feel like that long when we called him.
No, it didn't. So it's great to have him on the show again, like you say. Geez, I'm jealous of his Dogtooth trip.
I am jealous of that too. I'm intrigued by the barrel tuna stuff around Yorks and whether that becomes a regular thing. I still have my theory that they'll turn up out of Victor before long. I've had that theory, Diz. And also interesting that he got his sort of away from that big patch where everyone else got him.
Yes, there you go. It just shows that time on the water does pay dividends. Ryan spending a lot of time on water, so fantastic to hear the successes of that. Rhodey, let's get into the fishing report.
Rhodey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
All right, Diz, this should be a jam-packed fishing report. Lots of people have had time off work over Christmas and New Year's, so plenty of fishing has been happening. I think a bit of it was impacted on by the weather. The weather probably didn't really play the game.
No, it didn't, Rhodey. Just feels like it's been windy and horrible weather for quite some time. We have had a few little weather windows. There's been people getting out there and getting amongst them whenever they can, of course. One of the notable catches, though, of course, has been that there has been finally some photos popping up doing the rounds on the socials of some tuna, particularly off the sort of Fleurieu area. So interesting to see that. I'm sure they will start to ramp up. Those warm currents coming through and hopefully some more bait fish coming through will get them firing. I think it would be fair to say that they're not thick down there. We're not seeing an enormous amount of posts come through, but we are hearing a few little whispers that they're out there and hopefully here to stay.
Yeah, and that'll be one to keep a close eye on. And I suppose the thing with them is once they're there, it's probably not that far away from them firing up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Potentially a good day or two and they could be on the bite. So, I think it won't be long and they'll be in full swing.
Yep, let's hope so, Rhodey. We love that. We'll keep close to it, that's for sure. So Want to Fish charters do frequent that area. We noticed that they've done a few posts around getting out there in hunt of them. And I don't think they've had any joy just yet, but we don't know that. They might have got out there and got amongst them today. You just never know. What we do know is they got onto a little patch of kingies, which looked like great fun, Rhodey.
Yeah, it is. Nothing wrong with a good kingfish. That's even better than tuna, I'd say.
Good little bycatch if you're targeting tuna, I'd say. Couldn't get any better, so that's pretty epic. Down in our neck of the woods, we've been seeing some great reports of some bream in the Onca. Angus, pharmacist by trade, colleague of mine, not the greatest fisherman I've ever seen.
Cop that, Angus.
But he's been down there with his two sons. They're getting into fishing. They absolutely love it, spending a bit of time down there with the family, and they've done well on a few bream.
Sounds like he's catching more fish than you then.
Oh, jeez, spare me. I'm just about to move on to my little fishing escapades.
All right, well, you talked about catching heaps of fish over Christmas.
Well, we didn't
Did you
talk
actually do
about
it?
catching heaps. We did not catch heaps. We did okay. We got a feed.
Yeah.
We got a feed of whiting.
What, a feed for Ned, who's 2?
Nah, we probably
How many whiting did you get?
We probably got 8 over 2 days.
Oh, it's only just a feed.
Yeah, it's just a feed. But we got a few squid, which was nice. It was about 5 or 6 squid. Some
Yep.
pretty good sized tubes.
What'd you do? A bit of salt and pepper squid or get the charcoal out?
No, I got the charcoal out.
Yeah, beautiful.
My favourite way to cook them.
Good on you.
actually. So
That's a good sort of Christmas time cook up because you got a bit more time on your hands, isn't it?
yeah, we had the wood fire going for the pizzas and got the charcoal out. It was all happening because, you know, New Year's, you got a fair bit of time to burn. I mean, midnight's a late night for you.
Mate,
these
I was
days.
in bed by before 10 o'clock on New Year's. Don't worry about
Gee
midnight.
whiz, hopeless. Very good. Rhodey, what did you get up to, mate? You went snorkeling for some craze.
Yeah, got on the hook of Diz. We got in Jack dropped us into some sort of washing machine. It was a bit rogue. I think he didn't want us to catch more than him. So it was absolutely a swelly mess down there, Diz, and we were getting yanked around all over the shop. We're on a hooker and pretty much got dragged through the ocean by our mouthpiece for a while there.
Yeah, right. Okay, fair
Got
enough.
one,
So
but it was hard going.
looked like a reasonable size one.
Was good size. They caught heaps over. They were down there for sort of 10 days to 2 weeks, and
Did they?
I think Ben, Jack's brother, made a rule at one stage after he wrapped up 24 crayfish in cooked crayfish in newspaper and vacuum sealed them or whatever. He said, "We're not getting any more."
Oh, well, does he know where I live or something?
Well,
Geez, any danger? I hate that rule.
So anyway, Diz, that was so one cray over on Yorke Peninsula, which was nice, down Marion Bayway, and did go squidding at Warina, I think on the 28th or 27th or one of those days, and got absolutely nothing, Diz. It was blowing a bit of a gale, so we stayed in close to the breakwater, had a couple of family friends, little kids to take out, so it was probably more about getting them out on the boat.
Did they love it on the boat?
They did enjoy the boat, Diz, but they didn't enjoy the lack of squid.
Oh, they just putting a bit of heat on you, saying like you're the worst skipper they've ever seen.
Yeah, and it was weird because it was such a full offshore breeze, and so it was actually quite nice conditions in close, and I thought we were still going to get a couple, but no, didn't play the game.
Wow, there you go. Unbelievable scenes. Well, anyway, that probably says more about your skippering abilities than anything else. So for anybody listening out there, that's a note not to go out with you.
All right, Diz, that's enough out of you. Let's move on, Diz. What about Simon Green at Tumby Bay? He did some good gear. He's
been doing very well. So I think the weather has impacted his ability to get out there fishing, but he has spotted a nice few little weather windows to get out to the group, the groups out there at the islands, and he's done very well. 3 trips, 3 bags is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so it sounds like every time he's getting out, he's doing the damage, but maybe the weather didn't play the game to get out there all that often.
Sounds like he doesn't miss when he gets out there. So maybe next time, Simon, we might come down with you, and hopefully the weather plays the game. We'll get out there and do well on them.
And some good size ones too in a couple of his photos.
Oh, yeah, they look like some healthy fish, that's for sure. Some big fatties in there, so that's very good. I'm sure they had an absolutely great time getting on them when they did. Rhodey, Chad Soper done very well on the cod opening.
Yeah,
is that fair to say?
He did. So he went out on the 1st of January and went up the Murray. I'm not exactly sure where he was trolling on the kayak. He caught 2 cod, a 76 and a 77. He was pumped with that. He also got 3 callop on the troll. So he had a big day of paddling up and down the Murray, so well done to him. Good to see cod fishing is back, and good to see that the population's healthy, Diz. Last year was a bit of a mess with all the floods.
Yep.
So it'll be a interesting little season to see what happens with the cod this year.
It will be interesting, Rhodey, and like you say, good to see Chad getting onto some nice fish there. He would have had a great day, no doubt. And that just wraps up a nice little juicy segment for us, Rhodey.
It does, Diz, and that's just about it for the episode. So where can the listeners find us?
Well, you can find us all over the socials, Rhodey. You're all over that. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all those things. Make sure you share your photos. Send them in. It's a great time of year to be out on the water or out in Mother Nature enjoying some time with friends and family, wetting a line, that sort of thing. So send your photos in. Jump on. listen to the podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere you find your podcast, or just follow us along on socials on the Facebook. You'll get on there and be able to download any episodes you like.
Yeah, and make sure you hit us up for any of your T-shirt needs or to book a ticket to the 100th episode. Deers, 98 down, 2 to go.
Wow, we're deep into the 90s. Looking forward to 99, and then we'll go bang for the 100th. Love it, Rhodey.
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.